Is AI wiping out our job?
So this is an interesting topic. And let me give you the short answer, and then we can go for the long answer next, right? So short answer, yes, it is. Of course, it is going to be wiping out jobs, right? But the long answer, it's somewhat complicated, right? So artificial intelligence has actually been around for a while, right? It's not just recently been introduced into the market. It hasn't just recently been impacting jobs. It has done it before as well in the form of machine learning, in the form of, like direct applications in kind of various industries. But it's just blown up a lot now because of the extremely kind of the extreme consumer application that large language models have introduced in the form of ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, and so on, right? So yes, there have been significant developments recently that has led AI to being like the technology that you need to be kind of aware of, that you need to learn, that you need to implement in your respective kind of companies. All the startup funding is now going towards AI. Like when we had COVID, everything was going towards remote setups. Now everything is going towards AI. Everyone wants to know about how AI is being used in their companies, right? So in terms of like exact numbers, like I read a recent report by the World Economic Forum on uh, what the future of work is gonna be, and it's pretty recent, like I believe early 2025. So it already has numbers on how AI is gonna be impacting, and it does say that there are gonna be around 22% of jobs that are gonna be either lost completely or they're going to be transformed. Overall, these are like overall numbers. So 22% is huge from that perspective, right? So yeah,
That's a
that's
lot.
the
Yeah.
comparatively long answer, but we can kind of get into more details on what's going to be more impacted, what not
Yeah.
next.
So what is next? Like more job or less job?
So according to the World Economic Forum, again, right, like they do say that there are going to be more jobs eventually. In the short term, there are definitely going to be less jobs. I believe like the actual numbers are that AI will actually cause 9 million jobs in the whole world to eventually be either lost or completely displaced. And this is by 2030, right? In the next like 5 or so years. So not even that far off. But AI will also help create 9 million jobs. So overall, it's an addition. Not 9 million, 11 million jobs, right? So 9 million are going to be lost or displaced, and 11 million new jobs, which basically means that the number is going to increase by 2 million. But it's going to take time for that number to increase. First, we're just going to see the negative aspect of it. And there are all kinds of jobs that we even see nowadays being replaced, like the most common ones, content writing, all these kinds of clerical or transactional jobs or low skill jobs. We're already seeing the impact on them.
Yes.
So yeah, but it will take time for companies to be mature so that the part about new jobs being created gets introduced and gets and starts becoming more common and something that we can perceive that okay, there are new things that we can now start getting into.
Yeah, interesting. On that note, what about new jobs? Like AI will create new jobs. How about them?
So think about it, right? Like if artificial intelligence, what is it based on, right? The most basic thing that it's based on is clean data and lots of data, right? Like what it does is like you cannot have that intelligence be developed unless it has access to data that it can kind of analyze and learn from, right? So that's a very layman explanation. An engineer would probably be judging me for it. And specifically if it's an AI or ML engineer or a data scientist, but in super layman terms and in terms that people like me can understand, who have not actually kind of, done coding or done like software development in the AI domain. This is how it is. So you are going to need people who can power that AI, right? Who can make sure these AI models or machine learning models are operating in the correct way. So we're talking kind of AI ethicists. We're talking like AI product managers. We're talking big data analysts. We're talking about, yes, software developers as well who can actually work on machine learning models and help kind of, find actual applications in the products of today versus like yes they might be a great ML model, but how is it being implemented in the products, right? Like how is it actually benefiting the business? How is it exactly benefiting the user? You're not just going to insert AI into everything even if it doesn't benefit the user or it doesn't make economical sense. AI, by the way, has a huge cost, and right now, there are a lot of startups that are subsidizing that cost by the investment that they're getting. But every time you prompt, every time you run a machine learning model, it has a huge cost as well. So the unit economics need to make sense. So there's gonna be a requirement of people who make sure that it is implemented in a beneficial manner to the business and to the user and in the correct manner as well,
yeah.
right? So these types of jobs, they're there and they're going to increase, and more people are going to be going into these jobs, learning the skills so that they're able to kind of perform these roles.
That or had it happened before?
I mean, not at this level actually. Let's not say in terms of level, because like we did so when internet actually kind of started getting introduced throughout the world, right? Like, and it became super common, what we call, and then the dot-com bubble came in and all of that. But at that time as well, everyone went through a similar scenario, right? So I don't know if this is gonna be at the same level, or is it gonna be more, is it gonna be slightly less? I think it's gonna be more transformative than when internet kind of became common in the whole world and all of that. But at that time as well, a lot of jobs got displaced and got lost. And then a lot of jobs got created. Like if you look at the startups that are getting funded, all of them are, like fintech, health tech, some form of like technology play. Like, would that have happened without the internet? Would we have mobile apps without the internet? Would we, have all these like YouTube influencers, TikTok influencers without TikTok or YouTube, which are again based
Yeah.
on the internet, right? So yeah, like it
Um,
was pretty huge back then as well, and people thought that they're gonna be losing their jobs and they're not gonna have jobs anymore. But then, they upskilled, productivity overall increased a lot, right? Versus like imagine physical mail being sent and then like emails, but then now there are so many email companies, right?
yeah,
So fine, physical mail got impacted, but it it got improved in some respects, right? Because of the internet, now if physical mail gets sent, you can track it where it is on the internet again, right? And then you have these email providers and all of that coming in, and so many different ones, right? Like if you go select, if you want to go and like customize your inbox, or like just like configure it on your phone, you're gonna find thousands of apps just doing that exact same thing, and each of them have their niche, right? So this is what I see kind of happening in with AI as well,
yeah,
right? Like there's gonna be a lot more productivity eventually, and we're just gonna upskill ourselves so that we can match the output that companies are now gonna be producing using AI and ML.
yeah, yeah. On that note, I used to be worried about my job getting displaced because email-based marketing, MailChimp, email-based provider, and sending out mass production emails on WhatsApp or just kind of getting people to do
And
mass
AI
production kind of
consultants,
thing.
right?
Yeah,
Forget
AI
email. Like if
consultant,
there
yeah,
are if there are AI consultants who probably have more access. to knowledge than even, somebody experienced in their domain does, right? So yeah, like I mean, the I
Yeah,
can understand the fear. I being a product manager, I felt the same, right? Like if there's an AI agent who can make better calls on what features are gonna make it into the product and what's the best direction for a business to go into, like what's the need, right? Um, for and for product person as well. So I mean, I can understand that there's some fear here, but that's the thing, right? Like you need to upskill yourself. Like half of the workforce almost today in any field will need to upskill itself because of the commodification of artificial intelligence and machine learning and all of and right, like availability, accessibility improvements there. And just like the new models that are coming in, like they have to upskill. And like by upskill, I don't mean just being aware of it, that these models are
yeah,
out there. I mean actually being able to kind of use them in actual workflows that you have today, right? So, and the latest of these models as well. And when I say models, I don't mean just being able to use ChatGPT. I mean knowing what AI can achieve and then being able to implement those features into your products, into your current kind of business workflows, and automating them and making sure that, like you are up to date and you are kind of making use of what this new technology is enabling now to eventually benefit the business. In that respect, right, like you should pretty much be safe if you know what this can achieve and you know how to use it in the best manner possible.
I think I can change my child because like you can upskill your child, but also like automate the business workflow with AI integrated. And because honestly, I could really be more efficient with the way clients want to work with you, or like product manager, new features are coming up. Efficiency is the keyword today.
Yep, definitely, Kola.